So they got this guy here, Shondale Barnett, and he was with Straight Drop. Now, they said that they got a tip from the Virginia marshals that these two dudes, him and Straight Drop, were driving on the interstate near Indiana. How do they know from Virginia that they were driving here? So that's one thing that's interesting. How did they get the info from Virginia? Who saw them and called in to the Virginia marshals to let them know, to make the official call that you need to pull up on them? They here, at this place, right? Now, this dude is charged accessory after the fact. And as y'all clearly heard in the press conference, they said this man was from Memphis but lives in Dallas and was hiding out Straight Drop in Dallas. Exactly what I said 2 videos ago. I told you that people from CMG has ties in Dallas, and that's why Black Youngsta felt comfortable to make that diss song and this show in Dallas. Because he knows there's people in Dallas that can look out for paper route ops, basically. So, just like I said, they were hiding him out in Dallas. And now how they get from Dallas to Indiana? Remember, he was going to turn himself in. Straight Drop was going to turn himself in. So, it seems like possibilities that they could have drove on the way to Memphis, but then he decided he didn't want to turn himself in. So they try to go to Indiana or something, maybe to hit an extra lick or something like that, or to do another video or something. And so that's interesting now. And so now they get booked at two different jails too. So they definitely gonna try to get this dude that's Shondale to snitch even more and say exactly, okay, when exactly did you link up with Straight Drop, a.k.a. Justin Johnson? They're going to say, when exactly? They want to know the time, the exact minute, second, or this dude is going life in jail. And his knees going to start buckling. He's going to start sweating a little bit. And he's going to start shaking. You're going to hear a crack in his voice. And he's going to say, I picked him up right after, the Dolph thing. And they're going to say, where'd you pick him up? Where did you pick him up? If you want to see another daylight, a sunlight, you better tell us where you picked him up, exactly the location. I want to know exact sidewalk, street corner, everything. And he's going to tell him where he picked him up, whether it was the house where they dropped off that white car, or did he pick him up down the block, Airways or something like that, or he could have been anywhere, right? He could have been parked up next to the precinct waiting for them to do their thing. And I'm down. And another thing they're going to ask him is, what car were you driving? You see how they haven't told us what car that they were driving. They just said that they knew Justin Johnson was traveling on that interstate towards Indiana and that they stopped at a truck stop. And when they stopped at the truck stop, the feds, the marshals safely got him into custody. They don't tell you what car he was driving, so that's going to be a key piece in this. Watch him end up saying he was driving a Tahoe or a Navigator or some crazy shit like that. So that would just make things even more crazy, right? Now, he's accessory after the fact, so they're not saying that he was on scene, but he helped them after that. So what they're going to want to know is where exactly did he link with Straight Drop to pick him up, because then that's going to be able to, pretty much seal the deal on it and get their case more credibility as far as like putting the sentences that they want on there, right? So if this guy already knew what was about to happen and they got the drop on him, and they had enough planned where they had a getaway car for the getaway car. They used the getaway driver and switched to another getaway car to go to another state and come back over this way. So that's the craziest thing. And so we go on to know why did they not tell us what car that they pulled them over in at that truck stop? That's what I want to know, is what car were they driving? Why is that information being hidden? They could tell you about the whole other guy and everything that they're charged with and where they're gonna be staying now and everything like that, but they don't want to tell you what car they were driving. Like, they got that car, so they impounded that car. So why does it even matter? Like, what is there to hide that you can't tell us what kind of car they were driving in? So I find that fishy. Like, they put on this whole entire interview and let two of the head people speak, and they over here making jokes about people's eyes being bloodshot red and little inferences to token up and this and that, and everybody laughing, but they can't tell us what car they were driving. Like, you can make a joke about the investigators' eyes being red, but you can't tell us where the car is. Man, they definitely smoking something then, for sure. Now that joke about the eyes being red is actually more serious, because they tripping. Why can't you tell us what kind of car they were driving in? So that's one thing, but it's very interesting the kind of info that they choose to give you and what you could piece together from that, you know? The things that they tell you and the things that they don't tell you, you know, are important. So that helps to kind of clarify, okay, how much do they care, or what are they trying to do with this investigation? Like, what's the grand scheme of things for MPD and these marshals? What do they want to do? Do they want to get them on some kind of RICO case? Do they want to get them on some kind of charge everybody life, or like what? So I just don't understand. Or are they just trying to get everybody snitch on themselves, but they're keeping too much things a secret? Like, they just now told us about the dude that stole the car, when, you know, there was already connections in Covington and stuff like that. And they just now coming out saying, you know, Justin's going to turn himself in, but they already knew where he was the whole time. They already had the communication with Dallas, and that guy was hiding him out there. They could have went and scooped him if they wanted. And then they were able to figure out this dude driving on the interstate, like, who was following them to tell that to Virginia marshals. Somebody was following him, or either this shondale dude that he was with must have texted some fed and snitched on him and said, hey, we gonna be here at this truck stop. I'm gonna drive to this truck stop. Well, first of all, why you even stopping at these truck stops? Those are some sketchy places. Like, you should know better than that. They should have just drove straight through and went to little side gas stations and stuff like that. But a truck stop, it's a lot of people that could identify, especially if it's like a truck stop that's got like food restaurants and stuff like that. But who's following them to tell and snitch? Who snitched to say that they were gonna go there? That's a question that I have, and it's just weird they don't want to tell us the car that they were in. Like, come on, man. Like, we need to know that so we could look out for where that car was on Airways. If we could see if that car ever drove by in the background footage. Like, that could be a car that was there the whole time somewhere and you never even knew, or something like that. Like, it could be some breaking info, like, to let us know, okay, after they left the Makitas, where did they go, and now we know who he met up with after to get away even more, but we want to know what car and where they met up. And so those are going to be the questions that they're going to be grilling and interrogating this Shondale dude to get answers to that, so they can continue with the case on whatever their intentions are with the case. You know, if they're trying to cover it up, pin it on one guy, a couple guys, and everybody gets something else. We'll see.